Today we'll be talking about male disposability, the number one thing men need to know about themselves. Now, what is male disposability? Male disposability is the notion that a man's humanity is of less value or of no value relative to a woman's humanity. A man's value comes from his utility to his wife, children and society, and so he becomes disposable, to be replaced by another man when he no longer has utility. Now, where does this come from? Well, it has a biological basis. We know that female eggs are in less supply than male sperm. And we also know that when it comes to how much we invest as parents, females invest a lot more, 9 months to be exact, whereas males, they can invest 5 minutes. And so it makes much greater sense that males can reproduce much more efficiently than females. So what we have is a situation where it's simple economics, supply versus demand. The eggs are in less supply than the sperm, and so they have a greater value. The females are in higher demand than the males, because of course the males chase after multiple females, and so the females have higher value. Now, why male disposability is such an important concept is that it has a very big ramification on how society views you and how they view what you do. Now, one way in how this manifests is that society generally doesn't care about male problems. Your problems are of no importance to others. Your problems only show weakness, and society doesn't want men to be weak. So what can we do about this? Well, the best way, in my opinion, is to consider problems through solutions. Take a solution-orientated approach to your life, and don't display your problems to others unless you're presenting a solution, because it'll only show weakness. It won't show an effort to improve. You'll find, especially with the most difficult tasks, that acknowledging that they exist is the first way to solve them. And this is how you create a solution-orientated way of thinking. Now, me personally, having gone through a lot of weight loss, I used to be 265 pounds, 120 kilos. I didn't admit that I had a problem for a long time. But once I did, I was unstoppable. And I reached my goal so quickly, and everyone saw that I could solve my own problems, and that gave people respect for me. And so this is why, when considering problems as men, we know, or rather we should know, that most people, they don't care about it. So work on solving your problems and becoming a better man. Now, another implication of male disposability is that when it comes to women, females, they don't love you, rather they love your utility, your value, what you can bring to the table. You'll often see that a man that is high value in society will get respect from females. And this is why, because you are disposable, and so women seek out utility. Now, what can we learn from this? Well, the first thing is that we should reciprocate. We should treat women as utility. If a woman doesn't benefit you, then there's no reason to have her in your life, just like with any man. And this mindset helps get rid of the pussy pass. I've seen this countless times where men, they let women get away with things that they would never let a man get away with, because they don't treat women as utility. They treat them as special snowflakes, and you can't do this because women don't treat you as special snowflakes. It's the only right thing to do, to treat them like they treat you. And you'll find that when you act in this way, that success will come to you, both in your goals and with women. Now, the final thing about male disposability I want to talk about is that it tells us as men to forget about society's definition of masculinity and to define your own masculinity. Now, this doesn't mean that you become a bum, you go out of shape. Rather, you take on the definition of masculinity that is the minimum you need to be accepted in society, and use this masculinity to your advantage. But outside of this minimum requirement, define your own masculinity. For example, one masculine attribute is muscle on your frame, and going to the gym is something that can help every single male on this planet. However, another aspect of masculinity is to give your life to others that you don't even know, because that's your job as a man, to protect others. Now, this sort of masculinity you can definitely do without. And so you build, by defining your own masculinity, sense of self-love, a sense of happiness, because your needs, your wants come first before anyone else's. And that's the best way to become happy, because you can't be happy if you can't accept yourself.